So, Misty, you have how many people in your company?
E-managed users, e-managed users or
Um,
employee filled?
how about just employees? Yeah, altogether.
About 125.
Okay, that includes your guys that go out and do the work, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, your internal staff, do you think you've added anybody, or do you think have you actually been able to get rid of anybody, or stayed about the same, or?
Yeah. We've gotten rid of a lot of people.
Okay. I mean, of
We
support
were,
staff, the people working in the offices.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we shut down our whole OC office, our whole OC branch,
And
and
what?
we operated from here.
Okay. So so you don't even need that office anymore, right?
No.
Okay, so I just want to, so Yolanda, here's what I'm going to do now that I've got that out of the way. I'm going to go through, the things that I ask Misty about, how she uses it and what it does for her, I'm going to then show you in the software after she hangs up. So,
Okay.
all right, so Misty, I was going to ask you about marketing campaigns and lead management, what that does for you.
Okay. Well, marketing campaigns allows us to capture how much money we're spending on the campaign, how many leads we receive on the campaign, and how many are converted to jobs.
Right, and what is a marketing campaign to you?
What is a marketing campaign to us? A sales tool, marketing tool, management tool?
No, I guess I mean, is it an advertisement that you do, or a trade show, or?
Oh, yeah, all of the above.
Okay.
Anything we spend money on to acquire business, it goes in there. So just for example, today I added yard signs to the marketing campaigns because we spent money on yard signs to put them up at the beginning of the project, and then we remove them at the end, and we got our first lead today for having yard signs out there. So
Okay.
any cost to obtain business.
Okay. And also you have some sort of referral program that you do as well, right? That you use the leads for?
We do. Pool service companies, if they refer a client and it turns into a job, we send out, well, they can name their price, but let's just say $200. We run a monthly report for all the jobs that have sold, we owe a referral fee on, and we send those checks out.
Okay.
And I tell you, our business our referrals from pool service companies has really increased because we're on top of it.
Right.
We're paying them, and they appreciate that.
Right.
Rather than it falling through the cracks like it used to.
Okay. Now, you guys use the web portal, right? Your salespeople use the web portal to enter their orders. Is that correct? Or their contracts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before they used the web portal for the contracts, did you guys have problems? And I know this sounds like a loaded question, Yolanda, and I'm sorry. But I really want to know, was there a problem like with people's handwriting where you didn't always get the right stuff on the contract or anything like that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay,
yes.
so is that one of the things that eManage solved for you by them doing their entry on the web portal?
Yes, and backlog.
Okay.
Yeah, we're able now to just run one report with all jobs sold. Whether and invoiced and so on. Okay.
So now you guys do one of the things the software does, Yolanda, is it does bid pricing and payment pickup scheduling. Okay, so can you talk a little bit about that, Misty?
Sure. So you said contract and bid.
Well, bid pricing, right? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you want me to talk about the difference between list and bid?
Sure. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Yolanda, let's say a salesman sold a contract for $5,000. That was their sales price. But Gardner gives them a price list, and the job they sold, they should have charged $4,500. So $4,500 goes in as list, and $5,000 goes in as the sell. The difference we pay commission on. So, I don't know.
Yeah, is that, and then what it does? Yeah, so what it does is it takes the bid price that they put in, it splits it out by the different phases of the remodel or whatever you're doing are on there, and then it breaks it out for you. So it shows you a sort of breakdown by phase of what the price is per phase, because what we do is we grab the income we grab the income by phase by doing that, by splitting that out using the bid price. And then we can give you income and expense, basically a profit and loss by phase of the project, so that you see a pretty accurate representation of how much you sold something for and how much it cost you, like to do chipping or demo, to do the plumbing and electrical, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does.
All right.
And then the phased payments, we collect as we go. So as we demo, we collect a check. And so you can set the job up to, you tell it the amount you collect at the end of each phase, and it prints out on our work orders, and it also appears on the schedule for the scheduler know that money's due, or if money's due, they're not supposed to schedule the next phase without collecting a check for the prior phase. So there's little hot buttons that, like, I guess, alert that help internal people.
So the next thing I want to talk, and I want to get you off the phone as quickly as possible, Misty. Sorry to keep you so long.
Sure.
I just want to talk about the payroll a little bit, because obviously we did a bunch with the payroll, different types of payroll. So just what you guys do with it, and what it's meant for you guys as far as manpower to do to actually do the payroll.
Yolanda, I have to say, the payroll is probably one of the coolest features. You now have each work order. So let's say, for example, our plaster crew. A work order comes out and it has a barcode on it. For payroll, all you do is you scan the barcode and the crew pops up with their pay, and then from that screen you hit accept if you're going to pay, if there's no manipulation to it, like an employee, let's say an employee, or let's say all employees are there, you just hit accept and the payroll is done. If, let's say, you scan a work order and there's an employee that didn't show up, you can, from that window, after you scan it, just zero that employee out and then hit process. And we do by piecework.
Right, Yolanda, do you do it piecework? Because what she's talking about is doing like a per pool. So they have a set price. They'll say you get 1.5 pools for doing this pool, and the pool is like $120. Do you do something like that?
You know what? I don't know. Tom actually handles the payroll. Okay. And he's not here right now.
Okay. All right. So we'll just sort of skip off of that. But the payroll, then you guys have a specific payroll system that we've made a custom export, but it also will export to QuickBooks if you use QuickBooks Payroll. So,
Okay.
Now what you just went up to 7? About 6 months ago, right? From version 6. What was you set up toolbars for each specific type of person? You want to talk a little bit about that?
A pull bar?
The toolbar.
Oh, toolbar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So what's cool about this software is that, you know, when you have a menu and you have a million things on the menu that you don't use, well, with this software you can customize the menu for each user. So, for example, our salesmen, they only need to click a couple buttons. Like, they only run a mileage report in there and they only look at leads or their calendar, let's say. So I went in, I removed everything they were not going to do on the toolbar, and I just put in a few shortcuts. So literally they sign into eManage and they click mileage report and the report comes up, or they click their calendar and their calendar comes up. I made it as user-friendly as I could for them. And then so on for my,
Right, and she did it herself. It's something that's built in software that you can actually say, I want to create a toolbar for salespeople. I want to create a toolbar for accounting, or whatever group of people that you want to do. And you do them all at once, and they log in, and it shows them that toolbar, period.
Oh, that's real nice.
Yeah, Yolanda, because I'm the controller, what's important to me is obviously collection. So on every single employee's toolbar, I have the collections button up there. So no one has no excuse. They can't find the report. It's a button they click, and it goes right to the collections report.
And it's got a stack of money on it, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, let's say you're in Excel and, you know, you go to File and you click Print. Well, you can change the name that says Print. You can put, you know, hey Dodo, do this, you can change the file, so the names on the menu.
Okay.
It's pretty
That's
cool.
nice.
It dumbs it down.
So two more things that and one of them is really simple, but this one is pretty important. You guys use QuickBooks, right, Yolanda?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So can you talk just a little bit about what QuickBooks does for you, or the integration and how it works?
All right. So for me, we just, all of the invoicing and accounts payable is entered in eManage, and and customer payments are entered in eManage. And at the very end of the day, I just go to the menu screen, and I send over the invoices and payments to QuickBooks. It's like a couple buttons you click and you highlight, and you hit send to QuickBooks, and they shoot right over to QuickBooks.
And what does that do over in QuickBooks? What do you actually see as far as detail or anything like that in QuickBooks?
Income, expenses, job costing, class, because we have 3 different branches, so we code invoices to our San Diego branch or our Orange County, so it breaks it up. All the detail I want, it's there. So income and expense accounts, classes, job costing, vendor.
Okay.
So yeah, and you have it pre-mapped, right? So that your accounts all pre-map based on the cell, right? Is that correct? Okay. So what happens is, like, the plaster income goes to plaster inside of QuickBooks automatically because you're making an invoice.
Okay, that's real nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So none of the users use QuickBooks anymore. Just myself and the assistant controller use QuickBooks.
Okay.
Right. Everybody else gets their data from eManage because that's where all the data that QuickBooks gets is coming from.
Yeah, even job costing, now there's just a button in the job that's called Final Profit, and you can click on that and you'll see the profit. It's a really cool screen that breaks out labor, commission, income, and it also works backwards for us. It helps us. It adds the burden to the job. So payroll taxes, which we used to have to break out because we don't use QuickBooks Payroll, so we would have to do a manual adjustment for burden. We don't have to do that with eManage.
Okay, so one last thing, and that's the other day, Scott McKenna, your boss, the owner, got the mapping thing on the iPad. And now, Yolanda, just to be honest, I can't show it to you because I can't do a GoToMeeting from the iPad. I can send you screenshots all day long of this thing, but I can't show it to you. It's because it's on the iPad. But Misty, just tell her what happened the other day when Scott got it on his iPad.
Scott, who's not even tech savvy, opened it up, I guess, with Philip on the phone. I think he said a bad word, but he said, "Oh my God, this is so cool!" But was he yelling at Philip?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, I was shocked by the reaction. It was nice to hear because that's why we create the software.
Yeah.
We create it so that people will use it and like it, right? So,
yeah. Well, do you want me to tell her what it was, or?
Yeah, no. Just, but I mean, he's been walking around with it, right? I mean, he's been walking around pretty excited. That was that was my point. I mean, what I just talked to him this morning, he said it was the coolest sales tool he's ever had.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, and the reason why is because you can zoom into a particular house and see the pool. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So, Misty, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I appreciate it. Actually, I'm sorry, there was one more thing. Commissions. I know commissions must have been a pain in your butt before. And what are they like with eManage now?
They're automatically scheduled. So as a job is plastered, we go in and, when you set up a job, we set up how much commission is to be paid. So across the board, ours is 7% commission, and then you obviously set up a salesman at the same time. When a job is complete, you just go in and you mark pay commission, and it does all the calculations for you, and you hit save and close.
Oh, and wow, that's nice.
So actually, yeah, it happens right when you're making your invoice or when you're actually applying your payment. Is that correct? You can have it set up to automatically pay at the time of getting a payment in, right?
I don't know if I don't know if that feature if.
Oh, you probably okay. Maybe you don't do it, but it is
yeah,
you
we
receive
don't do
the pay.
Like that.
Okay. There's a setting in there that you can say commission paid at the beginning of each job or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
no, we do it at the end, and we manually go in and do it. But I like that it does all the calculations.
Right.
I mean, if you tell it 7%, it's looking at 7% of the contract. So.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Misty. I'm going to go ahead and let you go.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you. You're welcome. Take care. Okay, bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was unscripted. She asked me earlier. I asked her to be on it. She said, "How can I prepare for it?" And I said, "Don't." I just wanted to know what you think.
Awesome.
So
that's great that she's really happy with everything you're providing. That's
yeah.
nice.
So and like I said, it's been 5 years. So and they were on version 6 for quite a while. We just came out with version 7 for pools about 7 months ago. So. But we worked for 3.5 years on rebuilding it better. So.
Oh wow, that's great.
So I'm going to show you here. I'm just going to take you to the software. I'm going to show you the things. This thing is about 945 windows. I'm not going to show you all that. I'm going to show you the things that we just went through with Misty, so I can give you a general overview and see how it works. And I'm actually logged into their database. So we're in Orange County. They're in San Diego. So it may be. Some of the things might be a little bit slow to get to just because we're going through the internet across, a whole county. So I'm going to open up the marketing campaigns here. We're just going to take a look at that real quick because why that's important is that you spend your money wisely, right? There's nothing worse than going and doing the same trade show that you did last year that you didn't get any business off of and not knowing it. Not knowing that you shouldn't do it, right? Or a yellow page ad that never brought you any business. I mean, there's no way to know because nobody can run their business like out of their head, right? I don't care who you are, you can't run your business out of your head. So you can see here that they've got different campaigns for yellow pages, okay? And we can see how much it costs. We can see how many leads are generated, how many of them turned into projects. What that percentage is, what the estimated value of those projects is, how many of those turned into jobs, what percentage that is converted, and then the sales value. Then what eManage does is it takes the profitability of the job, not the sale price, but the profitability of the job, the gross profit margin, and it takes that amount and divides it by the number of leads generated to give you a cost per lead. So right here, it should not be a positive number. It should be a negative number, or I'm not going to do that ad again, right? It cost me $107 to get 8 leads that never turned into anything, basically. So I'm never going to do that Yellow Pages OC again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to see if we can find, here's website, okay? So website, it really does cost some money. They probably just don't want to, they didn't compile how much it costs. But 1,417 leads came off of the website, of which 354 turned into projects, right? 352 of them went on to become jobs with a sales value of $3,156,400.04. Okay. And then so you see how my actual campaign cost is a profit. It's the cost of the campaign minus the profit, which if it's 0, that was my profit off of those jobs. And then it divides that by the 1,417 to give me an actual cost per lead of negative 1423.21. Okay, is that clear how that works? Okay, so that's all set up. The campaigns are set up. Then when people make leads, that's when it starts accumulating that data. So I'm going to just go into the leads panel here real quick, where we left off. And these are, so I've got the salespeople here, right? Salesperson. I've got the create date, the person's name, what they're interested in. I've got their phone number. I got everything here. Okay. And they can be grouped by salesperson. It basically lets me know that they're working on them or they're not, because it'll tell me when they've got an appointment with them. Once a job is made for these people, they drop out of the list. Okay, there is a little icon in here somewhere. That's a little fire icon. They might have hidden it, but there's a little, let's see if I can get it in here. Yeah, this first column here, this blank, is a fire icon. So if I scroll down a bit, yeah, see the little fire? That fire means that they haven't done activity on this lead in the amount of time I gave them to do something. So literally, I could go and reassign that lead to another person, another salesperson.
Oh, that's nice. I like the way it tracks it, because right now I'm just kind of doing a spreadsheet on Excel, and this is just so much nicer.
Sure, and it tracks back to a marketing campaign, so you know if your campaigns have been effective. Like I said, if I wanted to take these things that that they haven't been working, I can just say I want to reassign it to a different salesperson and give it to a different salesperson right there. You know, so that's also my incentive to have people use it properly, because if they don't, that money's gone to somebody else.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm going to show you quickly the web portal, and because you got a good laugh out of that, of people writing things down in such bad handwriting that the wrong order goes in. And it's true. That's why we did it. I mean, we wouldn't have built the software if there wasn't a need for it. So, and that's definitely one of the things that we knew about what happened. So, people log in. You can see that any internet, I'm sorry, I'm going to go in actually through Internet Explorer here. So people can go in from any computer that has an internet connection, right? And they can start building their contracts. So I'm going to log in here. Sorry. There we go. And okay, so I'm logging in as one of their employees. This is still Gardner. So you have a list of all your pending orders. These are things that you've gone out, you met with people, and you're designing what's going to be on the pool from the price list. Okay, so I'm going to go into one of these, and you can see the parts and pieces that make this up, and it's grouped by the phase of the project that's in. So prep and pre-site, masonry, plumbing, electrical, plaster. Okay, now there's list pricing in here, but there's also a line bid price. So actually the salesperson can say, I'm not going to sell for $21.44, I'm going to sell it for $2,000. Okay, so then that starts building the bid price, and then they have to give a reason why there's a variance from the list price if it's under. Okay. Okay. Also on here is down here, oops, I know it says Joe Blow, but we were just playing around. This is the basic contract information. This is stuff you need. This is all the information you'd need to build the contract. Okay. So there's Social Security number, gate code, the name, city phone numbers, everything. There's job site information and bill to information. Okay. Approximate date start, pool linear feet, coping linear feet, spa linear feet, tile linear feet. All these settings down here, not ground level. Okay. Then this is a place where they can put the customer payment schedule in, because remember that all of this builds the contract. So the contract will have the schedule for them to make payments. And do you guys do that? Do you collect as you go? Do you say you owe this much at this phase? Okay. So that's exactly what that is. Okay. They can print a contract right here. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's at the very bottom. Print the contracts right here after everything's filled out. Okay, and each person is different. I mean, obviously Gardner has their own contract here. Just gonna hit, okay, so I just hit print contract. So we basically make your contract online so that it can print from there. So
okay,
all right,
this is nice.
Yeah,
so much nicer than them writing it with their handwriting.
Right, and so it's all there, and you know, it's all right there. Whatever was on there, and the payment schedule right here. So they know exactly what they're doing. You can see that they've actually, you know, this is what they did. They've got what happens if you change your mind, right to cancel. Okay, all these things with signatures. They print it out, have the customer sign it. That's a good contract. Once they do that, it goes back to they say submit the order. That alerts people internally that it's ready to go. Okay, so internally then they process the order, and it's just double clicking on it. It creates the order in-house. And I'm just gonna pull up a couple of these so you can see them. But I'm gonna do it from the current backlog. And you know what a backlog is?
Just a log of the customers.
It's all your current jobs that are going on that are not 100% invoiced. Okay?
Okay.
So basically, with this software and this list right here, not one of your projects can fall through the cracks ever. Okay?
That's nice.
So I'm going to pull this up. And this is a current list, and every time you open it, it's new. It's because anything could have been made into a contract, right? A new job. And anything could have been final invoiced. So it's constantly changing. It's a constantly fluid list. And so I've got it here. I've got my job number, my company name, my order book date, the salesperson, the balance. Okay, here's the thing about a backlog. Your sale price might be $30,000, right? But you might have already billed for $18,000. So the balance is really what your backlog number is. So that really the backlog is the amount of money you're expecting that you've got out there to still invoice for. And that's this number here. Okay. From here, though, I can open up any of these into a job and look at the details of the job. So I'm going to actually, I want to get a, do you guys do plastering for pool builders as well as doing homeowners?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to open up, this is obviously a person, right, Greg and Claudia Smith. So I'm going to double click on that, and we're going to look at the job. And you'll see what the screen looks like. We made it really so there's one window where all the contract stuff is done.
Okay.
And, you know, I didn't show you on the web portal, but I'll show you in here how parts are added by salespeople. It's the exact same way in the software as it is on the web, so I'll show you here. Down here, we have a catalog, and you can see they have 3 different locations. She told you San Diego, Indio, and Anaheim. Well, they don't have this location anymore, but they still sell in Orange County. So if I go here, this has basically a catalog: remodel, pool builder, owner, builder. So if I go to remodel, and then I go to demo, and then I go down here, it starts showing me all the things that are available. And I can add it just by putting in the quantity. It breaks it out into the phase, and each phase then gets ready for scheduling once I book it as a job. Okay. So it's pretty easy. This tree right here is exactly what they see. I'm going back to the web here for a sec. When I go to browse, and I get the exact same tree that you see in the software. So you'll see here, San Diego, Indio, Anaheim. Okay, and then there's a place to put favorites. So they literally, your salespeople literally go in like they would go through a price list. Okay, and they see exactly the same stuff that you see. Maybe it's not a. Okay, so they see exactly the same stuff in here. Now this is filtered. Probably why I'm not seeing anything. This is filtered by what type of project it is. This is owner builder. So salespeople can do owner builder or replasters. Okay, pool companies they log in differently, but actually a pool company can log in and make their own plaster order from you or for you on the web, or you can log in as them on the web and do it that way. Okay. So, but anyway, the software does the exact same thing. You could literally build it right in here. It's pretty simple. Salesperson. You guys have multiple companies, right? Multiple companies that you run?
Yes, he does.
Okay. So just like we were talking about, they had 3 different offices. Are your companies different financial entities? I mean, are they actual separate corporations or?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens is the corporate division can be a completely separate company where you can have people that work only in one division, or you can mix and match people, or have everybody working and have access to each corporate division altogether, right? So you could have certain people that work only in, what it was Aqua Vita, right?
Yes.
Aqua Vita, okay. So Aqua Vita is your plastering, your remodel?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then do you split it out because you want to do tile and masonry or something in another company, or
Well, no, he does it all under Aquavita, the different phases, but he has other companies that he has.
oh, so they're not pool at all.
Well, they're related to pools. Like we sell LED bulbs, we sell parts for the pool vacuum. He has different.
That's exactly what I was getting at. You actually end up subcontracting to each other, right? Or getting stuff from each other. Is that correct? You buy things from each other and no.
From they're all his companies.
Right. Are they? But do you all like buy things from each other? Like LED bulbs? Does your Aquavita buy LED bulbs from the other company?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, anyway, the division is how it works. The division is how you split out those companies. Each one can be assigned to a QuickBooks file. So I'm assuming that if they're separate financial entities, you have many QuickBooks files, one for each company, right?
Okay, I'm sure he does. He handles all that.
So when you're actually sending to QuickBooks, each division can be assigned to its own QuickBooks file. It just sends right over. So you literally can run separate financial entities in one database and have people split out or people looking at things together. So, all right.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, the screen's pretty easy. This is a contract. This is where you can set contacts. You can print reports out of here. And this is also, like I said, where the bid pricing and payment schedule is done. So you see here, this has all the phases that this project's going to have: demo, acid wash, startup, plaster, masonry, prep and pre-site, and plumbing, electrical. You see where it says, and we split it out. You see how it's going to give us the income from each of these to apply the expense to. So if you look here, here's pickup check, pickup check, pickup check, pickup check. So this tells it what phases you're going to pick up checks and how much. So this has to equal this. So when you schedule, I'm going to go straight right now just into scheduling, because when you once this part's done, you process it, it's a job and it's ready for scheduling. Okay? So in the calendar, you can split out, you can have one calendar for each phase of your project because you use different crews, right? You don't have the demo guys doing plumbing, electrical, right?
On some of them we do, but for the most part, we have different crews.
Okay, so if you'll notice here, what it did, I clicked one button. It's opening up actually many calendars, and it's opening up however I wanted them to look. So I've got prep and pre-site in my first calendar. I've got demo in my second calendar, and it's however you guys set it up per user. So each user can have their own calendar set up the way they want it. But the reason why it's happened was the first pool company we ever did had, like, I don't know, 12 or 13 paper calendars strewn across a couple of desks, right? It was, and they were, pencil and white out, and and each one of them was a separate phase, right? So that's why we did this. We made it so that you can basically set up to 30 calendars in different phases. And you'll see down here, this is prep and pre-site. So if I look down here at the bottom, this grid right here, this has only prep and pre-site phases that need to be scheduled. These are jobs that are booked that are not on the calendar yet, that need to be put on the calendar. So to schedule this, I take it and I drag and drop it onto a day that I want to schedule it for.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so I just drag and drop it, and it brings us up. And if it had a payment or a payment scheduled, it would already be checked here and have the amount. Okay? It's already done for me. And then I can assign the crew now, or like Misty was saying, I can assign the crew after I scan the work order. Okay? Once it's in the calendar, it drops out of this list. It comes out of there, and it knows it's scheduled. If I delete it because they change their mind and don't want to start yet, it goes back into the list to be scheduled, waiting to go on the calendar. Each phase, right, so each phase is scheduled. Remember, over in this job, I had demo, acid wash, startup. All of these things would have an entry on the calendar to be scheduled. Okay, so each one of these would have an entry. Let me see if this actually, I think demo, we actually collect payments. So let me see if I can pull one up here that has a collect payment. Yeah. Well, you see on this thing here, there's a dollar sign. You see there's a dollar sign in there? That means I have to collect money on that one. So I'm going to print a couple of these work orders. I'm going to highlight a few of these, and printing a work order is super simple. You highlight the ones you want to print, and you press I on the keyboard, and they'll spit out one work order for everything that you got, or one work order, one for each that you had highlighted. So I'll have separate pages. So it's loaded up. Here's my demo work order, job number 5737. If there's a gate code here, the map page if you're using the Thomas guide, who the customer is, their address, the contact information, phone and mobile phone. Here's that barcode she was talking about. The scope of work is all the things that need to be done. Okay? Once these things are done, then there's a plus next to them so that you know if you have to split up between a couple days, the guys know what things to take with them, what they're going to be doing, what's already been done. Okay? So you'll see there's I mean these are specific, these are things, some of these things are specific to them, to Gardner, but these things can be modified to look how we need it to look. So this is another one. This is a different job, different scope, okay? And you see, this one says, collect before work performed, $2,985. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, the work order, that's how it works. Scheduling, really simple, drag and drop. If it rains, do you guys not work if it's raining?
No, we don't.
Okay, so if it's raining, you can literally take a whole day's worth of projects and move them, or a whole week's worth of project and move them just by highlighting them all and dragging and dropping them.
And this just helps you keep so organized.
Oh, yeah. Well, plus, like I said, once you print out the work order, when that comes back, that actually becomes payroll. So I'm going to show you that next because that's the next step, really. So when I go in here, we have an employee manager where we track the actual cost of an employee working. We track how much you pay them per. Well, you guys do per pool, or do you guys do a piecework kind of thing, or is that how you pay people?
I think he does it per pool, how he pays them.
So per pool, here's what happens for us. I'm not sure what it's like in Arizona, but in California, we can't pay per pool. I mean, it's not legal to do that. You know what I mean? So what we do is we convert that 120 or whatever dollars you get for doing that pool, we convert it into hours at a certain rate per hour so that we can report hours for payroll. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? So is that what you guys do now or no?
With all the payroll, he actually handles all of that. I'm not sure on how he does that.
Well, I can tell you, we do 4 different kinds of payroll in here, so I'll just really quickly touch on them. But I'm going to go into the window here. So this is the installation scanning window. I don't have a barcode, so I'm just going to load up a job that was done, say, Monday. And we're going to see what it looks like.
Okay.
Let's go demo. Okay, so normally this would happen by scanning. You would just scan the thing. It would pull up what it is and pull up all the guys. Okay. So you can see it's quantity of 1. There's no rate in here. Let me see what this was. Oh, this one hasn't been done yet. But you can see here that we have something called a gas allowance. Since you're not too involved in payroll, you won't care too much about this, but I want to mention it since you'll be watching the video. A gas allowance is non-taxable income. Okay? So it's kind of like giving your guys a bonus. Okay? So I don't know if you guys do that ever, but sometimes you got to drive for an hour or 2 to get to the job. You give a little bonus so that your guys, you guys have a little something extra. So if you guys do that, we handle that with a gas allowance. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to pull up one other job here. Okay, so here you can see this is a per pool. It's and you can change this quantity of 1. You could change it to 1.25, 1.5 pools. You can also change the rate per. You could say this guy's getting 175 for this pool. Okay. and it says per pool. It has the person's name. It's got where their crew leader and the total pay, and then you process payroll, and your timesheets are done. It's that simple.
That'll be nice. Yeah.
So then, if you do you use QuickBooks Payroll, or do you?
I'm sure he does.
Okay, so we send the timesheets right over to QuickBooks. So if you look here on the QuickBooks menu, we do receivables, payables, payments, deposits, service ticket receivables, payments, payables, and we do credit memos. We do timesheets, commissions. So your commissions that you're doing here also go over to QuickBooks for your salespeople. Yeah. But yeah, the timesheets can go right over there. You can also just look at your timesheets if you wanted, or if you use ADP or Paychecks, we also integrate with them. So if I go here to review export timesheets, I can look at any date range. Let's say I want to look at September. We go September 3rd through that Friday, the 7th, and I search. And you'll see the timesheets for all the guys for that time period because, like I said, we can't say you just get $120 today. We have to say you get this many hours at this rate and create an actual timesheet. Okay. So your internal people that get paid hourly or whatever, we have a time clock in here too. So you've got hourly employees, your other every employee is in here. Okay. And their hours are done. You see over here regular hours, you got the amount of pay, you got everything in here. Okay. Nice. Let's see here. So it's payroll. Really quickly, I'm just going to show you what those toolbars are that she did. Okay, I might actually have to log out afterwards, but I'm going to show you the toolbars that she made, and this is how she made them. She designed them, and then she assigned them to a specific group of people. So you can see here, she's got herself there, administrators Misty, because she wanted her own toolbar. So she made herself her own group and made her own toolbar. But I'm going to do the sales toolbar so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so, and again, these can be made and modified anytime. So this is what a salesperson sees when they log in. So you know how we had all those menus and things? This is what the salesperson sees. A mileage report, okay, route planning, mail merge, and calendar. So she made these specifically so she didn't have to have people asking, what does this button do? What does this button do? Why do I see this? So I'm going to just load selected on scheduling here, and you'll see that they have a little bit of a different menu. Okay, they have their time clock here. They have the collections report that she was talking about. Okay, send an SMS text message. All those things are right there for them. Okay, and then Misty's, just so you get an idea of hers, and I can get all my functions back. She's got her hot buttons up at the top, so she doesn't have to look for the things that she uses all the time. Okay. Okay. We do a couple more things that I don't think that Misty touched on, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, and you can ask any questions. We do document management. Okay, I don't know how important that would be to you, but instead of passing pieces of paper around, right, or having a file with everything about a customer in a pool, is that what you do? You have paper files? Yeah. Okay. We have a file, and then we'll also log it into FileMaker Pro in the computer. Okay. So we have, what we have is we store every document electronically against the job. So if we look here, you'll see these are a bunch of PDFs that have to do with that job. Okay. And I think what they do is they scan all of these things, or they save them from eManage against the project as a PDF. So I'm just going to open up one of these things and see what it is, all right? So and remember, I'm accessing their database in San Diego, so I don't have this file on my computer. It's stored in the database, and I can access it from anywhere. So if you have multiple offices, they can access documents that are put in anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to double-click on this, and I'm going to open it up, and you can see it's actually one of those work orders that they did. Okay, this is one of the ones that came back, and they did the payroll from, and they scanned it. So you can see it says electrical work, meet with Pat, in the morning to review electrical wire work. Okay, so you can see that
That's
they
nice.
do scan all those things and put them back against the job, because one of the cool things that eManage lets you do is to really give your customer good service, because anyone who picks up the phone can see what's going on in that job, right? When it's scheduled for. In fact, if I look back here, customer calls and they say, yeah, when are you coming out next? You pull them up and you look for, you go here to scheduling, and you can see exactly when that customer is scheduled for a certain phase and tell them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all right here. There is nowhere else you should be going. We built it all in so you didn't have to go anywhere else.
This
Okay.
is very nice. I like this program.
Yeah, so one of the other things I did want to show you was that they do a lot of mail merges, like lien letters. You know, if you have to send out a lien notification, stuff like that, they're all in here. So they've made all of their own templates here, but they merge with the contact information. So I'm not sure how you guys do your letters now. How do? You just type them up, everyone manually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. With eManage, the reason why we can up your capacity to do business with less people is because you never have to redo the same thing twice. Every time you type something, it's a chance to make a mistake. Okay? So if we can merge stuff that you already have into a letter that you're going to make all the time anyway, why wouldn't we, right? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to make one of these, and I'm going to do a merge and just show you really quickly how it works. Let's see. Let's pull up. I'm just going to do a merge with a couple people and show you this letter. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop some recipients, and I'm going to choose an author, and I'm going to merge it. You know that you saw the email that we sent out, right, with the iPad stuff, right?
Yes.
Did you actually see that email?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Well, we made it with this.
Oh, really? That's nice.
That's how we made it. We said send us an email, send us HTML, and that we made it in Microsoft Word and merged all you guys to send you that letter. Believe it or not.
This is nice. This is real nice.
Yeah. So here's the letter, right? Let's see if this is the. Okay. So here it is, and it's all done out for one for each person.
Okay.
Okay. So again, these templates can be anything because we have these merge codes. You can put any contact information, contact history, when their next appointment is, when they're. You can do a lead sheet from here. You can do anything with this. So the point is, like, the software does a lot. You can basically start out using some of it and work your way into using it, but it's not hard to use. We help you set everything up, and we also will come to you for 3 days and do training for your internal people. Basically, during the setup, you get trained a lot anyway. So like the administrative person, the person that's going to be in charge of it, is going to get a lot of training that way. But we come there because we know we help you get the buy-in from people, because you have to have that buy-in. So we come there, show them how to use it, show it how cool it is, really, how it's going to save them time and let them do their job better. And then we help you get that buy-in from your people. So.
Okay.
So what do you think?
I think it's great. I mean, that contract part alone, some of these guys, you can't read what they're writing, and this just helps out so much, and it just keeps you so organized with the scheduling, and I'm sure the owner here will appreciate all the stuff it does with QuickBooks and how that operates. I think this is a very good program. I would be too. This is awesome. It keeps you so organized and just everything all in one program. I think it's great.
So yeah, so one thing you should know is that all these things have rights. So you can assign specific people to only be able to do certain things. So you've got people that work scheduling, right? And that's what they do. Yeah. So you can say they can do scheduling, but none of the other people can. So all these things are split up between departments like they are now. Nothing. There's nothing in here that I've shown you that you don't do now. You probably just do it on paper, right?
Yes.